Hi, everyone. Okay, welcome to I is for information. And researching for this class was not what I expected. So let's get started. Share my screen. All righty, Ruski. Present. All right, so I is for information, as y'all well know. This is 4 of 5 lesson series that is comprised of EIEIO, which is our endless content formula. And we have already done the EIE, and we're on the second I. I is for information. So we have something called the Social Simplified worksheet, which is built on the endless content formula. And we are basically breaking down the nuts and bolts of EIEIO. So you know exactly examples of what that is and how to use it and why you need to incorporate it into your marketing strategy. So, background of EIEIO. If you've already heard this in the other 4 classes, then, or sorry, 3 classes, then skip through this part. But basically, EIEIO were some letters that started popping up. I was highlighting and looking and thinking about some notes I was taking at a meetup. And over the years of going to this meetup called DFW Social Media Marketing, we had all these speakers, and I started highlighting, and I was like, ooh, okay, that's entertainment. Okay, this is basically informative. And I just started messing around and realized that when I put them all together, the types of content I should be sharing across multiple speakers, I was able to come up with this acronym, and it stuck with me. I never abandon it. And every time I do this, both for our Next Chapter Social account, Angelin and I, anytime I teach it, anytime I do it on my personal account, it works. So, EIEIO is literally the way that I make sure that I never run out of things to say that are on brand and unique to me and what my audience needs to hear. If you're missing one of these 5, then your vehicle is a jalopy and it's going blah, blah, and you need to figure out which one you're missing, which brings me to the fact that this class illuminated what we were missing. So we'll get to that in a second. The endless content formula, EIEIO, organizes your thoughts so that your monthly posts earn your right to sell. The art of selling is to make your product or service relevant to your customer, your client, your followers. If you're making what you're doing relevant to them, and then they are going to say, "I need that. Oh my gosh, I need that. Sign me up." So by doing the E, the I, the E, the I, and then the O is for offer. Okay. You've earned the right to sell through the first 4 posts, and then you go in for the kill. Okay. In a nice way. Right. So, anyways, EIEIO is the endless content formula. And if you go back and watch the other 3, you'll see that E is for entertainment, I is for inspiration, E is for education, I is for information, and then O is for offer. So entertainment, inspiration, education, information, and offer. So you have to do those 5 things in order to be a well-rounded marketing account. All right, the endless content formula is a series of 5 content categories that can be repeated over and over again. EIEIO, obviously I've been doing it since like 2016, 2015. I need to find that notebook when I wrote that down because wow, that would be pretty cool. I should frame it. So far, we've covered the education, the inspiration, the entertainment, and the information. The information is what we're covering in this class. Endless content formula allows you to stretch a singular focus into a series of engaging captions and posts that will increase your engagement and your reach online. So, we're going to get into this a little bit more later, but just to repeat myself multiple times, you should have a singular focus. That is also known as niching down. You don't have to niche down your whole darn business, but when you're marketing online, you need to be very specific with what you're marketing, not just, I own Next Chapter Social. Come on, join us. Come buy something. That's too generic. If I'm selling one thing, for instance, the most recent class, this one that drops actually tomorrow, I could talk about I is for information in this class specifically. So that is a singular focus. And I would do the EIEIO over marketing this particular class, not all the classes, not all the coaching, not all the teaching, not all the services, none of that. You would want to niche down, singular focus. Earning the right to sell means that you're not turning people off or being too salesy. So if we just had a bunch of O's, offer, 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 buy my crap, oh, hey, over here, pick me, buy my thing, that would be too salesy. But if you alter through the categories, if you alternate through the categories, then you're educating them, you're informing them, you're inspiring them, you're entertaining them. Then you offer to them because then they're like, okay, but can I buy it? Then you got them wanting to buy it from you instead of you saying, hey, do you want to buy this? That's how you do it. So, question. Are you one of those people that think that having a plan is a four-letter word or that it's going to chain you up and like make you seem like bland and boring? Well, that was me too. But I've found that when I at least plan out those 5 posts over a singular focus, the endless content formula, then I have a lot to say about one tiny topic, and it really, really converts followers into clients or paying customers. The conversion rate goes way up when you cover these 5 bases. And we are going to do that here in a second with an example. So here's our Social Simplified worksheet that's built on the endless content formula. Educate, inspire, entertain, inform, offer. Educate, inspire, entertain, inform, offer. You can keep going. Notice that there's only 9 posts here. You can do all 9 posts over a singular focus with a good goal in mind, a good number goal, something that's measurable. This particular worksheet allows you to basically pinpoint what you want to talk about here. This is just a few notes you would want to do. For instance, let's say our focus was this class. I would want to educate them, and educate I might tell them that did you know that the Social Simplified plan is built on the endless content formula? See below in the caption for our endless content formula. That would be educating them. Inspiring them might be with a screenshot of our analytics and analysis and all of our insights on the uptick in engagement and reach. Entertainment might be just a B-roll of me sitting here recording this class and talking, and then maybe you know, that's it. Entertainment does not have to be funny, haha. It just needs to keep them on and watching and engaged for a little bit longer. Informing them is these are the 5 takeaways that you're going to get from this class. It's, going to be available tomorrow, June 13th. So that's the nuts and bolts, which we're going to talk about today. And then offer, we'll talk about that in the next class. That's the final class. But offer is basically the link is in our profile, buy my crap, right? It's the offer post. You don't have to be cutesy or anything like that. You want to be very direct. And you've earned the right to be direct in that because now you're not salesy and you're not turning people off with your content. Then you could go through and do a whole another series of posts that earn the right to sell. So I do want to point out this 9-box billboard over here. We base all of our content around our classes and stuff, teaching you content marketing specifically for Instagram. But obviously, these 9 posts could go on Facebook or LinkedIn or Pinterest or TikTok, whatever platform that you have your business established on, use it for that. However, Instagram is a really good grid and it's a very good visual aid, and people can this is from my teaching days back in Frisco ISD. If you have a grid of 9 things, people can kind of follow you through that. Plus, the 9 posts at the top of your Instagram are your most recent posts. Those are the ones that people see when they go to your profile. So if somebody shares your profile and says, "Hey, I want to recommend my friend, she's a nutritionist or a massage therapist or whatever," they're going to go to your feed and want to know what you're all about. Well, if you have this 9-box billboard laid out with EIEIO, EIEI, then you have earned the right to sell. And notice that they all lay out in this perfect formation where the O is directly in the center of all the posts that are earning the right to sell in that center. So it's accidentally brilliant, actually, if I do say so myself. Accidental brilliance there, and it just works really nicely. So, do as I say, it works. If you can remember EIEIO, like I have, because I highlighted it in my notebook years ago, then you can be a pro at content marketing for your business too. Okay. EIEIO. It's the only thing you need. We're the only one teaching it because it was our idea. It's our proprietary thing, but it is really just so simple. You don't need anything else. You just need to earn the right to sell and make your products relevant to your clients. I is for information. The art of selling is to make your product, service relevant to your customer. And you can add their product, service, or event. So an event is often not well attended because people don't know why it would be relevant for them to go. What's in it for them to show up and drive over there? So, or attend your webinar or whatever the event is, whether it's virtual or in person. You probably have not made your event relevant to your client yet. Informing your audience is crucial to selling your product, service, or inviting someone to attend your event. You got to tell them the details. Informative content simplifies your business, empowers your audience with facts and straightforward details. It helps the audience make great, confident decisions because they know what you do. So, I'm going to talk about this on this slide. When I was researching for this class, I often just go to our account and pull examples because I know we have them. But I was shocked, like completely shocked, to find out that we really didn't do this very well in at least the last 6 months. So we had offer posts and we had educational posts, but this one's in between those two. And we didn't have a lot of straightforward details about what it is that we do, who we do it for, how to work with us. We didn't have any of that. So it's very hard to find examples for you guys from our own account, digital marketers, that informed you on the nuts and bolts and straightforward details of our business. So let this be a lesson to you that even we can screw the pooch on that and have a jalopy every once in a while. It is so important that you just have a simple post that informs your audience because you teach, you entertain, inspire, every once in a while offer, but you don't straight up tell people, hey, this is what we do. You just you don't do that. So you need to, and we're gonna do better. Informative content tells your audience about your specific offers or products or services while highlighting how you're different from others. So, for instance, we are coaches, but we're different from others because we have both one on one and group coaching. And even more so, there's 2 of us. So you get 2 people with very different backgrounds, very different things that we bring to the table as far as skills and experience. And you combine that, and we are a well-rounded machine. And if you need help on it, then I guarantee you we can help you with it. So that's what sets us apart. Providing straightforward and informative content helps people identify you as the person or business that does blank. Oh, Brooklyn and Angelin, they do social media. But if somebody's asking, oh my gosh, I need help with my Instagram, They might come to us and say, "Hey, I know y'all do social media, but do y'all do Instagram? Or do y'all work with people that are on TikTok? I don't know." You got to be very straightforward with that. We help people do social media marketing for their small business, and we cover these 3 platforms or whatever it is. So being very specific. This can lead to increased conversion rates and referrals. So people will refer you if they know that you specialize in X, Y, or Z, because that's what they hear from the people that are asking for it. They don't hear these big, uh, globulous, I don't even know if that's a word, social media marketing. They hear, oh my gosh, I need someone to do my social media on Instagram. Well, they'll refer you if you have just recently said, I do people's social media on Instagram. Hello, it fits, right? So be specific. My favorite way to deliver informative content. Yeah, this was kind of hard because I don't really have a favorite way because, as you know, we haven't been doing it very well. But if I were doing some informative content, I would do it these 4 ways. Through Reels, where I just speak, and I actually did it today. So at the end of this class, I'm going to show you that. Carousels, where they can flip through and see what you do. Graphics, that's very easy. We do this. And a bulleted list in the captions. Here are the services we offer, and be very specific, not only for the people that read it and hear it, but also for Instagram. If Instagram or whatever social media platform you're on uh, scans those words, those are all key words. So people that are searching for that will be shown your content. If you're just social media marketing in general, you're going to be put into a general pile, and that's no man's land, and you don't want to be there. How can you make your content more informative? Well, here are some great ways. Simplify your language. We help you do your social media. Really, we help you effectively market your small business using digital platforms. But that's too like blah, blah, blah. We do your social media. That's all people need to know. That's what they say. So that's what we need to say. Break it into smaller parts. So, an example, I use Meg a lot on this one, but Meg was doing an informative series, an educational series, but still, this is about breaking it down into parts. And she said she was going to clean out her pantry, and she was going to show people all the different ways that sugar sneaks into our everyday products. Okay. Well, when she mentioned that, I said you should just do one at a time because that's smaller parts and more consumable and digestible and a quicker win for the people watching it. So she went into her pantry, she picked up one product. It was Morton's salt. And it's easy to remember because it was just one thing, it wasn't 42 things. And the third ingredient was dextrose. She made that reel probably a year ago, and I still remember it. I still mention it, and it's still a great example of breaking things down into smaller parts so they are more consumable and give your clients quick wins. And if they feel like they're winning, then they want to work with you more. Put the most important information up front. Things like the details at the end, the terms and conditions or whatever, all the little fine print. Don't lead with that. Lead with, you get 2 hours of coaching with us and $350 in bonuses, including blah, 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 blah. They want to know what they get, not what they're going to get if they don't do the work, right? You want to lead with the most important information that's most important to your clients, not most important to you. Use facts and figures that are easy to understand. For instance, insights, when we talk about the insights that we get our clients, we just basically say 1,000% uptick instead of 1,134% increase in their reach. That's too complicated. Think from the reader's perspective at all times. All right, so let me make this a little smaller again. So again, I just don't know how to make this small. So Social Simplified worksheet built on the endless content formula. You put your product or your service that you're going to focus on here. So the focus of these 9 posts and your number goal. Well, we want 12 new social club members. So by having that number goal, we can decide if we've reached that goal through our campaign, because all of these put together is called a campaign. You're writing a series of posts strung together for a common goal that have a singular focus. That's a campaign on social media. Do these 9 posts have to go out in 9 days? No, you can do these 9 posts over the course of 30 days or 31 days or 28, however long your month is. And you can spread them out. If you're not doing campaigns at all, if you don't have a singular focus and you don't have a goal and you're just kind of like tossing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks, then doing 9 of these in this way, planned, P-L-A-N, that 4-letter word, you're going to see a very drastic difference between what you did the month before and this month, just doing these 9 posts. You can do more, but you don't have to. So first, we decide what product or service we're going to focus on. In this case, we're going to use Social Club, which is a service that we provide coaching. Then we ask this question: what are the pain points of the people that would buy or join Social Club? So we start thinking about, well, people who are buying Social Club need some hand-holding. They want someone to ask when they have a question about X, Y, or Z on Instagram or Facebook, or how to market, or I've got this event or this thing I'm launching, whatever. They are small business owners that don't have a team around them and really can't afford to hire someone to do their marketing for them. These are the pain points. They're overwhelmed. They're overlooked on social media, and they're insecure in their ability to use social media to market their business effectively. After that, we remind ourselves that the information we highlight in these 9 posts, or 2 of the 9 posts, needs to solve these pain points or problems. We need to highlight the information about Social Club that will show them that if they join, they'll be less overwhelmed. They'll become more visible online and less overlooked, and they'll be more confident in their ability. So what details would do that? That's what you're thinking about. And then that's the information that you want to share in those 2 of the 9 posts. So let's dive into examples of informative content out in the wild that I did find. I did find some examples, so that's nice. They're not all from our account, but whatever. So these are some reels with bulleted lists in the captions. So this reel right here was from the Fort Worth Stockyards, the Fort Worth Love List account. They made a reel, and basically it was a series of little short clips from different places that were happy hour spots. So it's very informative that, hey, if you visit Fort Worth, these are great places to visit because they have great happy hours. And then they inform them on the location, what their happy hour special is. And it's just like, wow, thank you for this information. That really inspires me to want to go to Fort Worth and just kind of do a little bar hopping and date day with my husband. This one is a different kind of information. Now, education and information can often kind of overlap, but if you're focused on the factual details that someone needs to know and not on a educational post on how to use them further, those factual details, then it's really in the lane of informative. But honest to God, informing people can cross a line, and it can be educational too, and that's fine. Don't get too caught up in it. But this informative post is this woman informing people that there are secret fonts on Canva. I was pretty interested in that. It didn't teach me anything. It didn't teach me how to use the fonts. It didn't teach me anything other than that Canva, guess what, has secret fonts. And here is a bulleted list of what they are: cute cat alphabet, cheese alphabet letter, and watermelon alphabet. All you do is you go to the elements and you type in watermelon, cheese, and cute cat, and these things pop up. So you might want to be inspired to go to Fort Worth. You're probably inspired to go to Fort Worth, even though it's an informative post. And here you're probably inspired to go use Canva and search up these 3 secret fonts. So information doesn't have to be boring. These are graphic posts that are informative. Instagram size guidelines. So keep your text out of the colored area, keep your text out of the colored area. Well, I would call that white part, not the colored area, but whatever. Single post can either be 1080 by 1080 or 1080 by 1350, up to you. Carousel posts and profile pic. So it's very informative. It's just telling you the sizes. Screenshot that. You'd probably save it to your saved posts. It even says save it now so that you can go back and reference that and know what to make on Canva, what size to use. This is one of our posts. Believe it or not, there are a couple here. Instagram photo update. So this was us talking about how you can now do a portrait sized post. And then we kind of talk about why you would want to use the bigger one in your feed over the old one. This is just 2 different accounts talking about the same content. This one would probably get saved more now that you're looking at it because it has more information in it to reference. This one would probably get saved less. And you can see 578 likes versus 22 because one and done, it's easy, right? It's easy to remember that. It's not so easy to remember all this stuff. So keep that in mind. A little bit of complication or overwhelm in your information can cause people to save it, which is a really good engagement booster. This is a little educational, but it is factual. So reels and stories and the differences between the two, we were getting a lot of questions on that. So we just wanted to clear it up with facts. So reels are best for your follower growth. Reels get you more followers. That's just factual. They're 30 to 90 seconds. They show up in the feed and in reels. They're shown to non-followers. There's no links in a reel. Requires editing, planning, and trending audio. There you go. Stories. Best for building relationships with the clients you already have, I should say, because the people who see your stories are the people that are already following you. They're 15 to 60 seconds in length. They show up at the top of your feed for 24 hours only. They're shown to followers only and can include featured links. You can put links in stories, you can't in reels, and they're easy. No editing is really required unless you want to. So that's very factual, right? And that's a graphic that's very easy to read. And that's also something that would probably be saved. Carousels. Now, this is one example of a carousel, but everything in here is pretty factual. So this is also something that would be saved. But the last slide on here is kind of an offer. But in all this information you've provided, you've earned the right to sell on the last slide. So this is kind of a content formula in and of itself. But we've got the hook on the front that says the algorithm has changed. And obviously, we're going to inform you on how it's changed throughout this carousel. I've noticed a major change in the algorithm. So recently I had a reel go semi-viral. We did too. And so reading this, it was resonated with me because I'm like, yeah, this happened to us. But when I checked the analytics, I was confused. Reels that get this much reach usually have amazing watch time. But With this one, it was crap. It wasn't good. The watch time was not good, but it went viral. So that's weird. Well, the thing is that one was saved 24,000 times. Okay. So saves were the most important metric a few years ago, but not in recent years. Saves are still important. We've talked about that, but they're not the most important metric, and especially not for Reels. Here's how you can take an advantage of the new algorithm. Recreate most saved carousels as Reels. So on your feed, if you have made carousels, you would want to recreate those carousels that had the highest number of saves as Reels. Share info with a lot of valuable share info with a lot of valuable info, like the list, the charts, the diagrams, and infographics. Again, we really liked this carousel as an example because it's actually telling you to share information, which is what we're doing. So anyways, it's just goes on. I'll let you pause this and read that if you want to read it more, but you can always go to Social Sam and read it from there too. Here is another carousel. Again, one of our examples. We didn't have many, but there you go. This was from back when we were posting classes. Well, we still do, but we were posting about our classes on our Instagram. And for some reason, we got away from posting information. So we need to bring this back. But November classes came out on Wednesday the 1st and Wednesday the 15th. So we put little stars. And then we went to the class titles and the takeaways for those classes for the month. We just gave them a bulleted list or a numbered list, and then get the information as you get 2 new classes every month. You can access our entire library of social media marketing classes. Plus, you get 20 more each year because we do 2 a month every month except for December and July. So swipe and then link in bio to get your class pass today. So we were earning the right to sell by wetting their whistle with information and a little bit of inspiration. And anyways, we also spelled it out in information in the caption. So if your content provides factual information aimed at increasing knowledge or awareness, then it's informative content. Serving informational or informative content on social media effectively requires an ability to get in the head of your ideal client and understand that they don't know your business like you do. So you have to rise above what it is that the minutia of what you do every day and boil it down to facts and ask yourself, what do I do? What services do I provide? What products do I have right now? And then prioritize those and sell the one that has the biggest margin, right? And trades the least amount of time for money, then sell the other ones later. But that's my recommendation. Informative posts aim to provide clear, practical facts that are often overlooked when you think of what to say online. Think, let's get back to the basics. You have to think that way. We are very creative in our marketing, and we often just gloss over the simple stuff because we're like, that's too easy. Our clients need to know what we do. Point blank. If they don't know what we do, they're going to be entertained until the cows come home, but they're not going to buy from us because they don't know what they can buy because we didn't tell them. So that's us laughing. Let's go back to that. Us laughing. That's so funny. Anyways, educate, establishes yourself as an expert online. Inspiring develops an emotional connection. Entertaining raises awareness for the problems that you solve. And information empowers your audience with facts and straightforward details. So the EI, those 4, that's what it does. So far, we've covered E is for education, I is for inspiration, E is for entertainment, and I is for information. We've done 4 out of the 5. So the endless content formula, if you educate, inspire, entertain, inform, then you've earned the right to sell. So I cannot wait for you to see the last class, also a very straightforward class, but going to help you a lot with the offers because sometimes we forget to sell. and we feel smarmy when we sell, but you can feel good about selling when you've done the other four. So let me stop sharing and show you that reel as I promised. I'm going to share my screen again and then go over to, let's go here, exit. And I'll show you the informative reel that I made today that was inspired after I wrote this class. 3 things we do best. And look, I'm in my same outfit. Think you can afford to work with us? Hear me out. First of all, we have solutions for any budget. Let's talk about coaching. Group coaching is for those people that have a champagne taste but a beer budget. $49 a month right now to join our club, get 2 hours of coaching and lots of bonuses and freebies. One-on-one coaching is a little bit more pricey. However, you get us all to yourself for 6 one-hour sessions. Let's talk about teaching. You can hire us to come out and teach your group or organization, or you can go to our website and pick any one of our almost 40 classes and download it and take it on your own time. Super affordable, and you can go at your own pace. So that brings me to the last option. Let us do your social media for you. We do that all day, every day. We have many clients. We'd be happy to show you some of their accounts. But if that's something that you're thinking about doing, we do it and we do it really well. So let's talk. I'd love to work with you. I know Angelin would too. And I promise there's a solution where we can help you go from social beginner to social winner. If you don't think you can afford to work. So that's super informative, all factual. And I repeat myself very simply in the caption, the 3 things we do best: coaching, teaching, managing socials. If social media has you biting your nails, let's talk. DM us and let's find a social media marketing solution that works for you. Use some hashtags. The perfect informative post. Factual, details, empower your audience to make informed decisions. Don't forget the I, like we did.